it's Steph here from the Novelty Corner, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my final Frankenstein video for March. My read-along has come to an end. I have read the book. It is my classic for the year, and yes, I do mean for the year. Just go with it. And I did really enjoy it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars in the end, and the thing I loved most about it was the writing and the language. I love that style of writing, and it didn't move so slowly for a classic, so that really helped. But I read the last 57 pages in the book, so from 150 to 207, which is the tail end of the book, obviously. I would have dearly loved to have slapped Frankenstein over the back of the head, because my God, the man avoids his problems like the plague, doesn't he? I forget exactly where I left off last week because now it's all become a bit of a blur. Frankenstein had been given an ultimatum by his creation that he needed to create a companion for the monster so that he would go off and live somewhere else and not be embroiled in society and not kill anyone else. And Frankenstein agrees, and then he doesn't agree, and then he goes traveling to avoid doing it, and then when he starts doing it, we kick off and he deliberately antagonizes his creature by destroying the bride that he's creating for him in the lab, and then thinks nothing bad is going to happen. Goes home, marries Elizabeth, and then wonders why all of his dearest, closest friends and family end up dead. I don't know, Frankenstein. Maybe you were told in advance that that was going to happen. Yeah, that was quite interesting. And I think one of the things that became increasingly prevalent, and I think I mentioned it to a couple of people in the comments of other videos, that I think as a cultural symbolic story, like everyone knows Frankenstein, if not from the books, then from various movie adaptations and TV shows and sort of these little pop culture references. But some of them are really blink and you miss it. And it took me a second when Victor actually destroys the second creation, the companion for his monster, that was what actually happened. It takes place in a sentence. And I had to go back and I had to reread it because I'm like, hang on, is that all? Because, you know, I would have thought it would have been bigger. And maybe that's the 21st century person in me, is just expecting things to be bigger. And maybe that makes me sound terrible and shallow, but that's the sort of person I am. I'm this big action, crazy, out there sort of person. That's what I love to see. And a lot of this is really subtle and you have to look for it and you have to reread it. And I had to do that quite a bit through this story, because even when he first creates his monster, like, I blinked and I missed that. I had to go back and reread that a few times to get it. And that's a really strange feeling for me, because I think it's very symbolic of the difference between classical literature and books of today. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just need to be told. Maybe I'm just that simple that it just needs to be written on the page for me. I don't know. You can let me know in the comments whether it's just a bad reader habit of mine. One of the most amazing things about this story is how many people believe Victor has created a monster, and yet the drive to do anything about it seems to be really lax. So when his best friend ends up dead at the hand of the monster, and Victor is imprisoned and then blamed, and then finally recovers 2 months later again because he just falls to pieces when everything goes to crap. He explains to the magistrate that, oh yes, I created this monster, da 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 da. And they're like, okay, but we don't really have manpower to deal with it, so we're not going to do anything about it. I don't know. That seems a little bit odd to me, but maybe that's just me. And I suppose my final thought is, I thought it was quite fitting that at the end, Walter is the final person to see Frankenstein's monster, and the monster is bidding the world farewell and believes that he's soon going to die because, you know, Victor's passed on and Walter's heading back to England. And I thought that was a fitting way to end the story, because it is a farewell both to all of the characters but also to the story, and it sums everything up sort of in a neat little package, really. It is kind of ironic that Walter finally finds a friend in Frankenstein, and yet he has to watch his friend die, and in turn the creature watches his maker die and then has to say farewell. It's a strangely sort of beautiful ending, I think. Yeah, I mean, as I said before, the one thing that I really loved about the story was just how beautiful the language was. It was very easy to read. By far, I will say, one of my favourite classics that I've ever read. Not that I've read a great many of them, but just for the ease of being able to understand the story, I get that. So I can do that. So yes. Thank you to everyone who participated in the read-along and who's left comments and had conversations. And I know I've been really slack at replying to comments and things like that. It's just been absolutely crazy. But I did get a chance to catch up a little bit last week, and I'm hoping to do that in the week as this video is going up. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I know everyone's got their own thoughts and opinions on Frankenstein. Comments are going to be spoilery. The whole video series has been spoilery, and I make no apologies for that. So definitely leave your thoughts down below. If you have read it, if you haven't read it, if you're thinking about reading it, come and have a chat to us. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.